Derek Lane wore excellence like a second skin. A third-year economics student at Westbridge University, he was beloved by professors and admired by peers. He maintained a flawless GPA, tutored struggling students for free, and worked late nights at a nearby cafe to help support his chronically ill mother and his 13-year-old sister, Brianna. But underneath the polished smile and the ironed clothes was a young man walking a financial tightrope. Medical bills piled up, rent was always just barely met, and tuition increases were relentless. Scholarships helped, but not enough. He tried to reason, tried to hustle harder. But one night, staring at a letter threatening to evict them from their apartment, something snapped. No one would ever suspect someone like me, he thought. And so began the double life of Derek Lane, the model student by day, and by night, a masked robber. Derek's first robbery was more adrenaline than finesse. He chose a 24-hour convenience store 3 blocks from campus, a place he frequented often enough to know it had a single, aging night clerk and no security cameras. He wore a black hoodie, a fake beard from a Halloween shop, and sunglasses. His voice trembled as he told the old man to hand over the cash. The clerk complied without resistance. 3 minutes later, Derek was running through an alley, heart hammering like a war drum, with $483 in a drawstring bag. He went to class the next day like nothing had happened. He raised his hand. He helped a girl find a lost notebook. He smiled when his macroeconomics professor praised his essay on wealth inequality. The hypocrisy tasted bitter, but the money paid for Brianna's medicine. It also gave him a kind of thrill he couldn't admit to himself. Over the next 3 months, Derek conducted 4 more robberies. Small shops, poor surveillance, fast, clean getaways. He studied security systems and human behavior like a second major. He never left fingerprints, never hit the same area twice. The cash kept his family afloat. Medical bills were covered. Brianna stayed in school. His mother didn't have to worry about groceries or heat anymore. Derek kept his head down at university. His professors recommended him for internships. One called him the future of ethical finance. That one made him laugh in a way that scared him. He justified it all. I'm not hurting anyone. I'm just surviving. But the truth dug deeper than necessity. He liked the power. The 6th robbery was supposed to be routine. A small bookstore near campus, run by an elderly couple. Derek had watched them for weeks. He knew their schedule, their habits. In and out in 5 minutes. What he didn't plan for was Elise. She was visiting her grandparents unexpectedly. A graduate student in literature, soft-spoken, with wary brown eyes and a stubborn streak. Derek didn't know she was in the back room. When he entered, masked and armed, she came out carrying tea. Their eyes locked. She screamed. He panicked. "Don't move," he shouted, but she turned to run. He chased her, slipped on a stack of books, and his mask tilted for half a second. She saw his face. It was just a glimpse, but it was enough. He fled, cash forgotten. Derek didn't sleep that night. Elise's terrified face haunted him. He had never been identified before. No witnesses, no names. No one ever saw who he really was. Until now. And worse, he recognized her too. Elise had been in one of his elective classes the previous semester. He remembered her poetry reading. Soft voice, nervous laughter. She had smiled at him once in the library. She knows. He waited for the police to come. For his name to be called. For campus security to arrive mid-lecture. Nothing happened. 2 days passed. Then a week. Still, nothing. Elise hadn't told. Why? He found her in the university library, reading in the far back, her face tight with tension. She saw him approach and tensed like a deer ready to bolt. "I just want to talk," he said quietly. "You think you deserve that?" she asked, voice low but sharp. He sat across from her, heart thudding. "You didn't report me." "No, I didn't." "Why?" She looked at him, eyes narrowed. "Because I wanted to see if you'd come clean. I wanted to know if the person who helped me with statistics last semester could really point a gun at an old man." "I didn't mean to," he started, but she cut him off. "You did mean to rob them. You planned it." He didn't deny it. "What are you going to do now?" she asked. "Keep robbing people until someone gets hurt." "I don't know." "Then figure it out," she said, gathering her things. "Before you destroy yourself." She left without looking back. Elise's silence weighed heavier than handcuffs. Derek felt the walls closing in. Every day was a countdown. Every look from a professor felt like suspicion. Every siren made his stomach clench. But something else was happening too. He was changing. He tried to stop thinking about crime. He turned down a planned 7th robbery. He started writing a budget, looking into scholarships again. But the money ran out. His mother's condition worsened. The hospital demanded an upfront deposit for her next treatment. He had no choice, or so he told himself. The next target was a pawn shop owned by a former boxer named Hugo Nash. Derek had misjudged the man, thinking his age meant weakness. It didn't. Derek burst in as usual, brandishing the gun, but Hugo didn't freeze, he lunged. They struggled. The gun went off. A bullet hit the wall. Derek fled empty-handed and bleeding from a gash on his arm. He ran for blocks before collapsing behind a dumpster, clutching his wound. That night, he stitched it himself. The pain was dull compared to the realization. He wasn't in control anymore. Elise found him sitting on the bench near the lake where she always read. He didn't speak. He just sat beside her, pale and hollow-eyed, and pulled up his sleeve. She saw the bandaged wound. He finally said, "I'm done. I don't believe you. I almost died. You should turn yourself in." "I can't." "Why not?" "Because of my mom. My sister. They need me." "And what about the people you stole from? Do they not have families? People who need them?" He had no answer. "I didn't tell anyone," she said, "because I thought maybe there was something worth saving in you." "There isn't." "I think there is. But it's your choice." Over the next few weeks, Derek changed. He sold his textbooks and got digital versions. Picked up extra shifts. Ate less. Saved everything. He visited the bookstore he'd tried to rob and secretly dropped a thick envelope of cash in their donation box. He started writing an anonymous blog, detailing his story, without names, as a way to warn others against the path he'd taken. Elise read every post. She never commented, never messaged. But she was watching. He applied for a hardship grant and got it. The university helped cover part of his tuition. His mother stabilized. Brianna won a writing contest. Life, for the first time in months, felt like it might not spiral. But the past has long shadows. It was a rainy Tuesday when the police came. An anonymous tip. The bookstore incident. Elise's grandparents had recently updated their security system, new cameras with wider angles. One of them had captured part of Derek's face. He was arrested between classes. His classmates watched in stunned silence. The mugshot hit the campus bulletin board within hours. Scholarship star turned criminal. His professors were stunned. His mother wept. Brianna locked herself in her room. The charges stacked like bricks. 5 counts of armed robbery, 1 count of assault, unlawful possession of a firearm. Derek pled guilty, but the judge read his case carefully. Dozens of character statements were submitted on his behalf, by professors, fellow students, cafe coworkers, even Elise. She stood in court and said, "Derek Lane made terrible choices. But he is not a monster. He is someone who got lost and fought his way back." The judge sentenced him to 5 years, with 2 suspended and 1 year of mandated community service after release. In prison, Derek read more than he ever had. He taught GED classes to other inmates. He wrote letters to Brianna every week. She forgave him slowly, then all at once. When he got out, he was 25. The world had changed. So had he. He worked at a nonprofit that helped at-risk youth avoid crime. He spoke at universities about the illusion of moral immunity. He visited shops he had once stolen from, repaying every dollar, face to face. Elise came to one of his talks. Afterward, she handed him a folded piece of paper. It was a poem. Years later, Derek became a licensed financial counselor. He specialized in helping low-income families manage debt and build stability. People trusted him, not because he was perfect, but because he had once fallen and climbed back. He and Elise kept in touch. She never judged him. She reminded him, always, of what he could be. He never stole again, not because he feared prison, but because he had learned something deeper. Some kinds of wealth can't be stolen. They must be earned. The end.